Malcolm the Fat Kid here once again. This week we saw Sharknado, and guess what? We're those guys who didn't like it.
Alright, so the other day last week I was going to work and I heard on the radio talking about Sharknado, and I'm hearing about this sounds so stupid. And all these rant and raves and people oh, it's really a good movie and I'm I don't see how. And now that I watch it, I can honestly say I don't see how.
It is a bit of a phenomenon. With my friends especially, everyone wanted to see it. It's you going into it, I knew it would be bad. Don't think we went into this expecting a good movie when they say that. It's supposed to be one of those so bad it's good type of deals. And to a point, I can see the argument for that. But if you're like us, and you pay attention to details, it's really jarring.
This movie has more CG than real things going on in this movie. Alright, Sharknado. It's a tornado that picks up sharks in the water and throws them out into the land with deadly accuracy. Now, if stormtroopers from Star Wars had the accuracy of this tornado at sharks, the Alliance and the Rebels would have been wiped out in the first movie. I swear, it's astonishing of how you can see a rural area with nothing going on. All of a sudden, there's this flash flood happening on the screen, and then it goes to another scene of the people in it, and it's there's just a puddle of water at their feet, and it's supposed to be this huge flood is around them. It's wait a minute, they're standing in not even an inch of water.
Yeah, and just to warn you guys ahead of time, we probably will go into spoilers at some point. But to go on to...
we don't call them spoilers. I'm going to call them life-saving events. This is where we tell you things so that way you know, wow, this movie must be that bad. So I will not waste my hour and a half of my life watching this.
Now, it's not often that I watch a movie, and as I'm watching it, I start to think, I could make a movie. Because I'm looking at this, and now people are going to try and defend it saying, well, that's the point. They were trying to make a bad movie. I don't think so. I really don't. But because, okay, here's an example. For instance, beginning Steve Sanders, that's Ian Ziering, for those of you who never watched 90210. Steve Sanders is surfing. And one shot, it's a sunny day. Next shot, and by next shot I mean 5 seconds later, it's cloudy. Next shot, close up, it's sunny. Next shot, it's partly cloudy. Next shot, it's sunny. Then dark. Then it's nighttime. That's kind of the whole movie. You could tell that they shot at different times of the day, but didn't care.
No. And I mean, one of the shark attacks, he takes a surfboard and nudges the shark, and the shark is it falls down and swims away. Yet people are hitting sharks with baseball bats or anything like that, and these things are relentless on land. He's fighting this thing in the water, hits it with the surfboard just a little bit, not on the nose, but on the side. And the thing oh no! But these things on land who are from a tornado thrown, and the first thing they're gonna do is anything I can attach my mouth to, I'm eating.
Yeah, this movie, by the way, if Jaws did a disservice to sharks, then this movie makes sharks out to be the biggest dicks that God ever created. The whole purpose is to hate sharks with a fiery passion. Another one of my favorite little jarring glitches that they do in this one. Okay, 60% of the movie, by the way, is inside of a car. It's just Ian Ziering, his family and friends looking out a window, and then you see stock footage. And it varies. The whole street is supposed to be flooded, but some scenes, it's not flooded. Some other scenes,
it's CG flooded, and you just see water and sharks, and it's not even good water and sharks. And the watercolor changes so rapidly in this movie, it's ridiculous.
It goes from brown to clear to blue to gray. It's
look, there's blood everywhere in the water. Thank God none of it got on my white sweater that was all soaking wet right now.
My favorite example of this is when they go to save his wife and daughter. We'll get into the characters, but they go to save his wife.
We have to get into the characters.
Oh,
they're just as bad as the movie.
They go to save his wife and daughter, and the entire house at one point gets completely flooded. There's like a huge shark in there. There's enough water in there that the shark can swim freely in the living room. They make it outside. It's dry. There's like no water anywhere. And then all of a sudden the house exploded. You're like, how did the water get into the building? It makes no sense. And You're absolutely right.
Well, there's so much continuity issue with this movie. It's redundant.
See, and that's our big problem with the movie. It has nothing to do with how is a tornado going to carry the sharks all the way to land? How are the sharks still alive and not, mangled? Why are the sharks still trying to eat when they should be worried about their own lives? No, it's nothing like that. It's just the continuity. It's just the graphical standpoint. The fact that nothing flows at all. It's
and like here's this huge terrible thing going on, and they're trying to like start like this family like argument so that way you can like get involved with the characters and stuff like that. So the daughter has a problem with the father. Now this huge tornado coming, he's trying to save the family, and they're like, no, I don't care, we don't like you, da 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 da. And then the shark comes, and they're still like, oh, we don't like you, da da da. Why are you even here? It's like seriously, like why? Like the actors are not even acting in this movie. Like, oh no.
Oh God! Some of the worst scenes in it was like, especially from Tara Reid. She'll get a fun little section coming up.
This is just her normal acting, though, so you can't really hold that against her.
Acting, but there are some scenes where you can tell the director just said, "Look concerned," and oh, it's terrible. There are a lot of scenes where it's just them looking at something, and they were probably told, "Okay, in this scene, a shark is eating one of your friends. I want you to look horrified." And let's talk a little bit about the acting.
The horrified look is the Macaulay Culkin.
Going into the acting, I would say my favorite out of all of them was Ian Ziering, Steve Sanders. He doesn't play Steve Sanders, don't worry.
I thought you were going to say Nova.
Nova I thought was cute. Steve, out of all the actors, I would say he was trying the most. It's like, especially when you compare his acting to like Tara Reid or the daughter, especially.
Yeah, I don't even consider that acting.
Well, I'm not saying...
I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying he was Ben Affleck. More on him later. But no, he was actually trying. Like, when he was trying to be upset, I could tell, okay, he's upset. It's like, my favorite scene, like, the daughter and him are having a heart-to-heart. Whereas the daughter's like, I can't... You're my problem. Why do you love my brother above me? And meanwhile, he's actually trying to act like, what are you talking about? I came to save you first. Which is a valid point.
Which is brought up before he even mentioned it.
Yep.
But no, I mean, and there's just so many like problems with this movie that it doesn't even make it a bad, good movie. I mean, if this turns into a cult classic, you need to take that cult and like feed it the bad fruit punch to eradicate it, because they're stupid. There's nothing in this movie at all that a saving grace whatsoever. I mean, all bad movies you have out there are so bad they're good. There's something in there that, boom, this is what sells it. The only thing in this movie that sells it is the people who say, this is a great movie, you gotta check it out. And then, unfortunately, people like us who go, okay, you said it's a good movie, I'm gonna go check it out. You check it out and you're like, what the hell are you on?
So there's so many problems in it that we could literally just make an episode of what in Sharknado made no sense. Like, there's a scene, like, at the once again, going back to the beginning, where Steve Sanders is somehow surfing at the shore, but he is, and he's warning people, get out of the water, there's sharks. And there's a guy who's you can see he's only up to it, like, right here.
Up to his ankle.
Up to his ankle in water.
Now you gotta remember, the other guy's in the water, floating there, not on the surfboard, in the water, holding onto the surfboard, yelling at people on the shore. mind you, on the shore, like, not even partly in the water. Like, if you had shoes on, you wouldn't get wet, your shoes would be wet, that's about it. And the sharks are taking these people out. And this dude is sitting in the middle of the ocean, yelling to these people, and not one shark is bothering with this dude at all.
But here's the thing. Especially the guy whose water was up to the ankle, I could make the argument for, like, okay, I could see why he wasn't concerned about the sharks. But no, the shark somehow swims so far up to the ocean shore that he's able to grab the guy just at the ankle, and then somehow, much like the sharks from Deep Blue, swim backwards, or rather snake or slither backwards, and drag the guy into the shore.
And you really don't even see the shark attack that well.
No.
Like, you see the guy fall down and go back, but you don't really see the shark. It's like, was it a shark there? Was it not a shark there? Then there's a girl, and you know that she's going to get killed. Now,
you can tell everybody who's...
Here's another time problem. So this girl's putting on her wetsuit, right? And so she's got like one arm in it. Now he's out in there trying to surf and like that. His buddy's like, oh, we gotta go even further out. And his buddy's on a jet ski, so he brings him further out. And that whole scene when they're talking on the jet ski, he's on the jet ski and there's like a fake background and they're splashing water up in their face. And this is so retarded at this point that you're like, this is how the movie's gonna go. I don't want to watch it, but I have to because that's what we do. So he's way out there, and then they go back to her like 5 minutes into the movie, and she's still putting on this wetsuit. Like, seriously? Like, are you putting that on today, or what's going on? I understand putting on a wetsuit's not like that, but she wasn't even like, okay, alright. She moved 2 inches on, and then put the other half on in like 3 seconds. It's like, what the hell? Like, alright, we shot this footage yesterday, so we're going to break it up with these footage scene shots we saw today. The editing in it, the graphics in it, oh my god, the tornadoes that were hitting the ground. Now that you get tornadoes hitting the city, congratulations. It's a really bad tornado hitting a really bad city. The only thing that moves is the tornado. The ground doesn't move, the trees don't move, nothing moves. They didn't even attempt to do anything on the ground. Effects or the background. They just had the tornado moving, and that's all that moves is the stupid tornado. And you got like the sharks that float around every once in a while, and oh my god, not even I'm like gonna want to rant here about this stuff because I just have to.
It's too late.
At one point, he's holding a handgun and shooting sharks that are up in the top of the tornado, spinning around.
That was amazing. It's not even like they're just over his head. No, they're like a good 100, 200 feet in the air, and he's popping them off. And not only is he hitting each and every single time, but the bullet is somehow so powerful that it's actually knocking away the 2-ton sharks.
It's like he became like a James Bond character from GoldenEye, the video game, and he's gotten the golden gun. 1 shot, 1 kill. For you who played it for the 64, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he's got a handgun. He couldn't get the shotgun to work, right? I know that you could believe a shotgun anyways, because it, but he's got a handgun. He's like, just pulling the trigger and they're all dying. Like, no problem. And he's not, like, aiming like this. He's just got his hand up, like, shooting in the air. Like, what the hell are you doing? And it's like, yep, all the sharks are dying. What? And then you got people who sit there with a shotgun and have to shoot the shark at point blank range like 5 times before the thing died. But my handgun can kill him from a mile away.
Oh my god. Let's talk about more of the actors in this. Nova I did like because you could tell this was probably her first movie, and she's like, okay, this is probably my only chance. This is my only movie. So she made... Once again, not the greatest actress, but she tried. But let's talk about people who weren't trying, such as Tara Reid. Good God.
Did she ever?
Here's the thing. You say that, but that's no excuse. Oh my God. First of all, she is plastic as fuck now. My God.
She's shiny, yes.
Very shiny. And she's not even wet. Good God. But no, it's like, oh my God, it's her daughter. No, her daughter was actually the actress who played her daughter in this one, I should say.
Was better than her.
I don't know.
Yeah, she was.
You think?
Yeah.
But that's not by much, and that's not saying much.
I mean, not as good as like a turtle would be in the movie.
Like, Ian Ziering's entire family in this are terrible.
Not his real family. It's
Yeah.
the movie characters.
Tara Reid, the guy who plays his son, and the girl who plays his dad. That's why it was bad. It was the girl, the girl who played his daughter. Were all the most monotone, awful actors I've ever seen in my life,
and they had another guy in there that's Ian Ziering's best friend.
Oh, the Australian.
And it sounds like sometimes his accent changes a little bit as he goes along, but he's got like he makes bombs out of nothing and everything like that. There's a scene in the beginning where he gets bit by a shark barely, and this dude is like almost dying. He's like flipping out and everything like that. And then there at the end, he gets hit by a shark. And now this thing is like latched onto him, trying to rip his leg completely off. And he's just like, yeah, so get off me. Not even like he's like, like it's like, all right, wait a minute here. You get a little nibble on you, and you're like flipping out. This thing's gonna kill me. Oh my god, I'm dying. And then this thing's full on you, and you're just like, oh, quit it.
Yeah, the thing about this movie. Like, we were able to tell pretty quick. You'll be able to tell really quick who's going to die. Like, as soon as the drunk, my favorite, is like, hey, as soon as he started talking, I was like, 2 days till retirement, bet you anything. And sure enough, he died. His death was the most awful death scene. It was like, he's just standing there, it's like, and then all of a sudden, all this water CG washes over him, and like a few red spots come here and there, and he's like, oh.
I wanted a few more lines.
So
He'll never laugh about my stool again.
Good God.
Oh,
He
man.
was okay, here's the real question for you. Which was worse, Sharknado or Scary Movie 5?
Sharknado.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Because Scary Movie 5 has 4 movies before it that are so much better. So even though it sucked, it had 4 things before it that you go, okay, this gave me a reason to go see this movie. Sharknado had nothing behind it. And so there's nothing making you going, it's got to get better. You see it and you're like, this is not going to get better.
Yeah, I'll actually give it to Scary Movie 5 as being worse, in my opinion. Mainly because with Sharknado, at the very least, it goes quick. There's something going on all the time, so before you...
No. Time out. You said that like 80% of this movie, they're in a car.
First of all, 60% of the movie. And at least they're doing something. Scary Movie 5 was so bad, it felt like a 4-hour movie.
Yes, but we both didn't want to see either one of these after a few minutes.
After a few minutes. Yeah, I would... Scary Movie 5, I was done by the end of the Charlie Sheen scene in the beginning. Sharknado, as soon as the shark goes flying through the middle of Steve Sanders' bar, I was like, I gotta go.
And then I got a pull stick.
The pull stick, yes. Oh my god, those sharks are... we haven't even talked about the part in the beginning that has... with the captain and...
we don't even need to talk about that, because that had no bearing on this whole movie whatsoever. And
I'm still trying to figure out why would you... If you're trying to make this shady deal, why would you agree to go to his ship, let him sail you out to the middle of the ocean? Like, when he decides to turn...
Yes, but look at this. Like, they use this whole, like, cloak and dagger type situation that has no bearing on the movie anywhere. They try to make it seem like something interesting right off the bat. Oh, what's going on here?
Now, here's the thing. If you're... with the amount of hype this is getting, you're going to need to get... you're probably going to have to see it at some point, just because you're going to be surrounded by a group of friends that will say, dude, we have to see this. It's Sharknado. So, number one, never see this by yourself. I was only able to get through this because Fat Kid's here.
And, you know, you have to be able to be with the movie where you can, like, heckle the movie when you're watching it.
That's with us.
Because if you can't heckle the movie when you're sitting next to the person, don't bring that person.
We typically try to give the amount of seriousness a movie deserves, but this one deserved none. But it was fun to heckle a movie for a change. I would say if you have the right group of people with alcohol will help this too.
Every time somebody gets attacked by a shark, drink.
Ooh. Every time there's a bad edit, drink too. Oh God, you'll be wasted.
In the first 5 minutes.
Oh, so yeah, this is definitely one to watch with a good group of friends. Watch with all your friends so you don't have to see it again. Otherwise, you can skip this one. All right. So, important announcement and a kind of sad one. I'm actually going to be moving so far away that unfortunately Fat Kid won't be able to join me anymore. So, in a month's time, we will be having our final episode. But to make it count, this month is double feature month, which means essentially we're going to be actually reviewing 2 movies per episode for the next till the week of the 24th when our final show together will be. This week, we're actually going to tackle a pretty big deal that's currently going on in the movie world. Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck has been selected to play the Dark Knight Batman through not one but multiple movies if need be. It'll need be. So the argument is some people say give him a chance. Some people say it's Ben Affleck. So we're going to look at both sides of the coin here. We're going to take a look at the number one reason people bring up for him to not play Batman, and that's of course Daredevil. And we're going to take a look at the number one evidence for him playing it, The Town. So we're actually going to be tackling 2 movies, and each episode from then on, culminating in the final episode where we'll look at each other's favorite movies. So, look forward to that. Are you excited?
Yes and no.
Well, much like the 2 movies, yes or no behind each of them. But don't worry, folks. We'll be back at you next week. Stay tuned for Affleck Day.